Ken, people want to hear that again. Explain to everybody again about the driving, the left turns, the right turns.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to that. Where was that story? Okay, yeah. So another way to save on gas, limiting the amount of left turns you make. Turning left, especially at an intersection, burns off more gas than other modes of driving, which makes sense because if you have to turn left, you got to worry about two directions. So you sit there longer. Whereas if you're just turning right, you've only got to worry about one direction coming at you.
Interesting.
I've never thought of it that way. I mean, it makes sense.
It does. But you never, I wonder how much somebody got for that study.
Yeah, well, I know, because, it's just right there. It's common sense.
It is common sense. We should just do studies.
It's just something I never thought of.
Common sense. Ladies and gentlemen, Common Sense, the study.
Let's give these fellas $20 million to come up with a common sense way to save gas.
Take a bus. I can't wait. So we're going to bore under the city. Is that what we're going to do? We're going to use the boring company to get there.
That's what Elon Musk is talking about, apparently.
So he's been trying for years in California to use the boring company because, so they tried to put that stupid train in. And if you guys don't know, trains are silly. And for whatever reason, Democrats have this bizarre obsession, Freddie, with, like 18th century, technology. And he wanted to bore from Southern California all the way up to San Francisco, which would be cool. Now, I heard Chris talking yesterday about the big dig. I was fortunate enough to live in England when they finally got the channel done, which is really cool. Which, what is amazing? How many people got on the channel originally? And when they took it over, so if you know what the channel is, you can go from London straight over to France and over to Belgium underneath the ocean.
Interesting.
People thought you could go, the channel was in the ocean. So, like, you were going to be in the train going underneath the water, and actually seeing like the fish and stuff, like it was a submarine. People are sure. Yeah, it's cool though. So you can go straight to Paris. So neat. It's kind of a neat thing.
But it's a train.
It's a train.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a train, and their flights over there are so cheap. You can get it you could fly to like Holland, right? So you can fly, fly to the Netherlands for like $25, $30 from like London, round trips, like, we're having a special. It's $39 or 39 pounds. So you zip over for the day. It's neat. That's why their soccer teams have such huge followings all over the place, because it's so cheap to travel.
Houses are cheaper over there in some
Everything
places.
Everything is cheaper,
too.
but they don't make as much.
Right.
So, Mississippi is their standard of living as far as the money and what they make is our bottom state. No offense, Mississippi, not trying to be mean, is far bigger than the UK and Britain. So think about that. As we think of them as very posh and all that stuff, their standard of living isn't what Mississippi is as far as their GDP and everything, and their medium income. Crazy. Because you and I watched that show, right, with Maeve and all of them in London. You're like, that looks cool.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it is their standard of living has gone down. And the expense of life over there is far. You make 500 pounds or 1,000 pounds, you're going to lose 40 to 60%, in your two taxes.
Man, I don't like that.
No. I don't like that either. And everybody's like, well, yeah, our health care is free. Yeah, it is, but it's not, because you pay for it. So the difference is there's no shock when it comes to a bill. So you break your arm and you don't get a $27,000 bill. Okay.
Yeah.
There's none of that. But at the same time, you have to wait forever. So if you break your arm, they reset it, but you need surgery and orthopedics. Good luck getting that done anytime soon.
So we pushed that off to December 22nd.
Yeah, 2047. Good luck to you. By the end of your arm, well, we'll wish you the best.
Here's some aspirin.
Totally. Enjoy yourself, kids. Enjoy yourself. Oh, man. The energy prices, yeah, they're awful over there. And they are very awful. I was always shocked by, because everything's in liters. And they'd always make fun of you, like how we measure stuff, right?
Right.
The moon metric. And I would just laugh and go, yeah, we are stupid. So how many times have you guys been to the moon? Is that a 0? I'll wait for your answer off the air. Oh, my Lord. So yesterday, obviously, the big story, the transgender story that took place. It took place months ago. So you had a kid that brought it, and now that kid's going to have to go outside of the state to get their, but this was a national story as much as it was anything else. I mean, this is a national story. And you heard Afton, and Afton and I have fun, and I don't agree with her on a lot of stuff, but, they're very emotional about all this stuff. It's insane, okay? We lost the plot a long time ago because we have allowed this. First of all, we allowed people to take over something and scare everybody into being quiet, which was, including the gays, by the way. And this is Jillian Michaels. She was talking about, how we even got to this point. And if you guys don't know, it's at The Biggest Loser. Is that the name of that show? She was on The Biggest Loser. She's lesbian. And they asked her, like, you're more conservative than you were before. You moved out of California, all these kind of things that she talked about. And, and how pride it's lost its way.
For example, I do believe that I am proud of my accomplishments. I'm not inherently proud of what I am without choice and didn't work to accomplish. With that said, I understand how Pride Month came about. And if we're looking back decades, I'm sure people watching the show remember Stonewall. They remember AIDS. It was meant to commemorate the people that we lost to brutality, disease, who were silenced, who were invisible. And you fought for rights to marry, to adopt kids, to work as a gay person in the public eye. We all remember when Ellen was canceled and shunned because she came out of the closet on her big hit primetime sitcom. But those days have come and they are gone. And we are allowed to run for office, hold positions in office, marry, adopt kids, all of those things.
Yeah, which I got no problem with. I mean, I was never one of these people that, you get a lot of these people, they freak out about all of this kind of stuff. But like anything, it became a business, right? Just like the abortion, the life, pro-life, the pro-choice movement, those are businesses. Those nonprofits, they're running for a reason because they want to take everything on they possibly can, and it's great to raise money. Those are businesses. These things have been hijacked. It went from, hey, we just want equality, right? That's all we want. And it disappeared from there because the gays, and by the gays, I mean the lesbians and the gays, they got kicked to the side because there were other interests that came in and decided to hijack everything.
And from there, you see where we have come. Sex changes for kids was not a conservative position. In other words, not wanting them was not a conservative position. It was a common sense position because it is extremely harmful for the vast majority of most children. And we can litigate that if you'd like to. But Pride was not about exhibitionism and corporate profit. It was about everything I just referenced. So that's where I think this has just gone far too far.
Far too far. Because common sense left, it got hijacked, as she said, by people. It was a fetish, right? Like you've got all these wackadoos out there who wanted to push this lunacy and take away common sense and take away parental rights and say also, by the way, that everything you have to accept it or else. You can't say, no, I'm sorry, assless chaps, that's not a thing. Sorry, this isn't something that we're doing here, regardless of your sexuality. But if you dare say it, well, you got pushback because then you became homophobic. And that's what all of these groups do. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like I've talked about earlier. If I go and I say, yeah, I'm uncomfortable with Bibi Netanyahu, and I think we need to have a real conversation about what's going on, and we shouldn't be involved, that this is his pet project to get rid of the leader of Iran, everybody's all, you're anti-Semitic and you hate the Jews. If you say, I don't want to have gay people having sex in the middle of the street, dressed like animals, by the way, I wouldn't want straight people doing it either. You are
exactly
right. Like I don't want anybody doing that. That's not normal. And what would happen? Oh, well, you're anti-Semitic. You're homophobic. Whatever it is, you can't criticize. That's the playbook that everybody has.
Yeah, so why
It used to be
how
illegal.
did it
I'm
get,
not quite sure what happened.
how did it get, and I think that's a great point, that for so long the gay community fought for equal rights, right? But now, and I think that you made this point really well, that the gay community wants special rights, right? That you can have a sex show and indecently expose yourself and wear chaps that don't cover parts of your body that should be covered for anybody, and somehow it's okay because it's pride.
To be honest with you, Leland, I really don't know how we got here.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason that I'm speaking out, because I don't think that it begets inclusion and acceptance. I think that it's divisive. I think that we're taking people like yourself who fought alongside of us, and then we're excluding you, and we're shaming you, and it's completely counterintuitive, and it breeds resentment, as it should.
And that's an issue right there, because what happens, just like with all the DEI stuff, just like what we've seen with immigration, where having a strong immigration policy is good, but did we want to throw, up until Biden was here and decided what he do, it was about what can we do with the people here? How can we get some of them to go home? What are we going to look? And then Biden came in and allowed all of this to happen. And now we've had to move all the way over to, which is to get everybody out of here, throw everybody away. The DEI insanity that went on. Now everybody, what happens? It's an overcorrection and we pass the common sense going in another direction.
Without question. And I think it's begetting what some are now calling the alt-right, where we've repressed people from speaking common sense. And now it's like, you know what, I'm going to say anything and everything I want. You're seeing it with race. I mean, Adam Carolla very appropriately said, if you keep alienating and demonizing white men, you're going to create a group of racists if you continue to do this. If you continue to exclude and shame straight people and leave them out of your acronym that seems to include every orientation and identity under the sun but straight people, which is so bizarre, you're going to create a group of straight people that no longer like gay people and are not going to be there to advocate for you when it matters.
I agree, 100%. Let me know what you think. Tweet at us. You can text the program. Check out my social media. You can check out our YouTube. We go live every night, my uncle and I, usually 3 or 4 days a week. Chad Benson Show TV, and tweet at us at Chad Benson Show. More fun stuff. This dude got stung. Wait till you hear where he got tongue. I'll tell you when he got tongue coming up in a little bit. If you miss any of the show, shame, grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.